Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machan Leira online smicha. With the Yontif of Chanukah approaching and people are preparing, and of course the best way to light the Chanukah Menorah is with olive oil, because the miracle happened with olive oil. But a lot of people fulfill the mitzvah by using candles, which is fine. The question is, today's days they make, to enhance the experience of the mitzvah, they have all different types of candles. They have candles that produce smell, a good smell, a scent. They even have musical candles that when you light the candles play some music, they sing mice or whatever it is. The question becomes, if you read the text of the Haneres Alolu that you say after the lighting of the menorah, we say a quote, Ein lanu rishus lehishtamesh behem ela l'roisem bavad, that we have no permission to benefit the usage of the light of the menorah. The light of the candles have to be just lit for the purpose of the mitzvah, and you can't use them. Ela l'roisem bavad, you're only allowed to look at them. So the question that I saw some discuss, how about the fact that it's producing a good smell? Scented candles. Or how about the fact that it triggers some musical candles, however they make it? Is that considered using the candles? And using the candles, the Chanukah Menorah is prohibited. So really, in the Gemara in Shabbos, Taf Chav Aleph Amud Beis, the Gemara says, Asur lehishtamish l'oira, you're not allowed to use the light of the candle. And Rashi says that you're not allowed to use the light of the candle. Why? Because you have to have sheyehei nikar shehu neir mitzvah. So you should be able to notice and see that this is a Chanukah candle. This is a mitzvah candle. And if you're using it for your own purpose, own gain, then you can't tell it's a mitzvah. So that's where the conversation starts. That's Rashi's reason why you can't use the candle. The Baal HaMor gives another reason. Since the candles are commemorating the candles, the Neiros and the Shemen that were in the Beis Hamikdash and the Heichal, they weren't allowed to be used. You shouldn't use that. And Baal HaMor himself gives another reason why you shouldn't use the candle, because it shouldn't be a bizui mitzvah. Bizui mitzvah means desecrating, cheapening the mitzvah. If this is a mitzvah, why should you cheapen it by using it for simple things? So this becomes a very big discussion in halacha. When it says you're not allowed to use the light of the candle, does that include every type of usage, even for a mitzvah? What happens if you want to open a sefer, you want to read a chumash, you want to read a siddur? That's a mitzvah. Is that because embarrassing a bizui mitzvah? It isn't, because I'm doing something holy. From the other hand, if you're considering it almost what the menorah was considered in the Beis Hamikdash, you're not allowed to use it for anything, even for a holy mitzvah. So this is actually in the Shulchan Aruch, in Siman Taf Ayin Reish Gimel, Seif Aleph, the Mechaber says, Asur lehishtamish b'ner Chanukah, you're not allowed to use the Ner Chanukah, even to count money, which is simple, or check the money, you're not allowed to. In other words, you're not doing something difficult. Then he says, Afilu tashmish shel kedusha, even to do something holy, to learn near the light of the candle. The first opinion, the Mechaber says that's not allowed. The yesh mishamatir betashmish shel kedusha. However, there is an opinion that allows to use the light of the Chanukah candle if you're doing a holy action near it. Now we know the rule is that when the Mechaber brings two opinions, if the first one he brings bistav as a rule, and then he says, v'yesh mishamatir, the Mechaber is leaning towards the first opinion. And the first opinion says that you shouldn't use it for anything, even for a tashmish shel kedusha. The Mishnah Brura on Sifkat and Ches, he brings both of the reasons why you're not allowed to use the light of the candle. The reason, so it should be noticeable, it's a Shem mitzvah, so it should be Pirsum Anes, and also because we're comparing it as a Zecher to the Menorah in the Beis HaMikdash. And over there, we don't use it for anything. So if you don't use it for anything, even a Tashmish or Kedusha, you shouldn't be able to use it. Now, how about the fact that the type of usage that we're talking about as I started this year wasn't to read near it, was something that happens by itself. The candle is lit and the candle is producing a smell, a good smell. Or the candle is lit and it triggers based on how the technology, how they made it, it's a musical candle. Is that a problem? So from one hand, according to Rashi, the Rashi says you want it to be noticeable that it was done for a mitzvah. How does the fact that it smells good or musical, how does it take away from the fact that it's a ner mitzvah? So I'm not doing anything wrong. However, according to the Baal Amar that says you shouldn't have a bizui mitzvah, it shouldn't be used because it's desecrating it a little. Maybe this would be borderline desecrating, especially that we learned you shouldn't use it at all. Reb Shmuel Vosner in Shilas Teshuvas Shevet HaLevi, Chelik Yud Aleph Simen Kuf Samach Daled, he says, when the Gemara tells us you're not allowed to use the candle, the Chanukah candle, he meant you're not allowed to use the Chanukah candle for what lights are made for. A candle is producing light. Usually light helps you see what's going on, reading or searching for things. So those type of usages from the Chanukah candle, you shouldn't be able to. Or if fire produces heat, don't benefit from the heat of the Chanukah candle. How about other usages? Like over here, the Hana, I'm benefiting from the candle is it produces a smell, a good smell, or it's making musical. It's musical. So he says, I'm sure when the Chazal say that you're not allowed to benefit from the candle, it means all types of benefit. Especially if you throw in the Svara that the Baal Amar says that because it's similar to the Menorah and the Mikdash, you're not allowed to have any Hana. He actually says he goes as far as saying, even to take a picture of the Chanukah Menorah, he thinks that's possibly a problem because you're having a Hana in a far away, it's still considered a Hana. However, he says when it comes to a candle that's producing smell, he says that might not be a problem. Why? He says, Kivon she'ein haner atzmoi oimed l'shaychus reach, since the candle itself is not what's making the smell, the candle itself is not made for smell. The candle is made for light, so anything which the light, any hana that the light could make, you're not allowed to have. But a candle that's not made for smell, it's just a side effect, something side that you put in there and produces smell, that's not called having a hana from the mitzvah. That's what Reb Shmuel Vosner says in again, Shalos Teshuvas Shevet HaLevi, Chelik Yud Aleph, Simen Kuf Samach Daled. Now, there are other reasons about this, if it's allowed or not. Because when, obviously, you're not really doing anything when the other cases, you pull a book over next to the candle, you're doing something to create a hana. When the candle produces a nice music, or the candle produces a smell, you're not doing anything to create a hana. That might be another reason why it's allowed. And we also find a svara like that in Chashukei Chemed and the Gemara and Shabbos. Another discussion is the Gemara talks about having hana from things that belong to the Beis HaMikdash. The Gemara says, how do you describe hana? What is a tangible benefit? So the Gemara establishes, and the Gemara says, koil, mara, and reyach, sound, nice music, sight, looking at something nice, or smelling something nice, is not considered something that you're stealing from somebody else. And the Gemara talks about if you were walking, if you were benefiting, you lived not too far from the Beis Hamikdash, and you heard the music that the Levim were playing in the Beis Hamikdash. Was that not allowed because I'm benefiting from the Beis Hamikdash? So, or if you the beautiful structure, the beautiful building in the Beis Hamikdash, if I love what I saw, is that considered me'ilah? So the Gemara says, koil, mara, vereach, that's not considered a me'ilah because that's not a tangible hana. So maybe you could say the same thing over here. The music that the candle produces or the smell that the candle produces is not considered a real hana. However, even that we said that it's not hana, it's not a me'ilah, but an isur there still is. So that is a discussion that some achrayim bring.